everybody, welcome back to Rabbit Trails Podcast. We are back in the 338 studio for another podcast. I am so excited, but we got to hurry because Jordan's got a date.
He has a date with Destiny tonight, baby.
Destiny.
Let's go. Let's go. Welcome into the podcast, everyone.
Isn't your wife's name Emily?
It's another...
You guys make it sound like I'm about to die.
That's usually what a date with Destiny means.
Or it's someone that moons like a completely different job description than I'm comfortable talking about.
But all the listeners out there named Destiny, sorry, you're missing out, okay? Welcome into the podcast, everybody. Randall, I thought you're saving your voice. I don't know why you introed.
No, I'm done.
It's definitely not that you just want a game of rock, paper, scissors to get that intro from us, but...
You tried cheating.
Also, wait, what is this thing?
It's fire.
What's the... Oh, fire? You did the fire thing?
What was yours?
Mine was... Oh. Look, guys, Randall's having voice issues right now, okay? He's going through puberty. So we told... He had told me, he's like,
Finally.
hey, if you... It's about time, right? It's like... He told me, he's like, hey, if you want to do the intro, like you can. And then we were both like starting to argue for it for some reason. Then we played a game of rock, paper, scissors, which literally lasted one round. We tied at scissors. And the second round, we both tried cheating. He did fire. I did something that wasn't very Christian of me. And we tied. So cheating didn't work. Randall won round 3. And so he did the intro, ultimately.
Nice.
Always take hammer.
Yeah.
Rock.
So what happened to your... Was it all that smoke from last week?
Pretty sure it was
clapped
the
your
smoke
voice?
inhalation. Yeah, it would just clap my voice.
There's definitely people out there that think we weren't serious about having smoke machines in the studio. But
What?
But I'm sure there was, dude. I mean, you're listening to a podcast and they're just going on about smoke machines, but we literally couldn't even see each other.
Imagine our imaginations if we made that up.
Yeah. It was a pretty wild
I
moment.
had some Adventures in Odyssey type imagination.
Oh, good reference there. I appreciate that. Jordan, say something.
How's it going, folks?
Yeah, we
How's
gotta get you
Destiny?
involved.
Let's keep this moving. She's doing well. I don't know who that is or what's happening, but yeah, no. My wife and I have a date tonight, and so
Yes, go.
yeah,
Okay.
Happy
see how
for
that
you.
goes.
So we
Proud of
actually... Wait, what did you say, Randall? Oh, Randall, come on, dude. They're having a date. It's going to be relaxing. They're going to
Yeah.
chill out.
A lot of relaxing.
Let's not talk about Jordan's date any longer. It's going to be a good time probably for him.
Randall.
I hope so.
So anyways, a lot happened in this
Remember,
past...
Jordan, Inside Out.
A lot happened in this past week.
That is a Ted movie reference. Yeah, if you haven't watched the show Ted, I'd recommend watching it.
I would not.
Have you watched it, Jordan?
I have watched every Ted possible.
Okay. Good to know. I haven't gotten
show.
there yet.
Best show ever.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep, can't laugh.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wait. Are you on full Christopher? Because like 2 episodes ago, I
I'm
couldn't
not
laugh.
quite that bad, but
I was-
every once
I
in a
was-
while it triggers.
Okay, I was really messed up. So what? Are you
Just
got
gonna
a
take it
little
easy.
cold
We're
going
taking it
on?
easy.
You're gonna, okay,
Little
so you're not
cold,
gonna
little
laugh
smoke
as much.
inhalation. Yeah,
Okay.
Inhalation or inhalation?
inhalation, all of it.
Okay.
Smokes
interesting.
down the gullet.
All right. Well, let's start with Jordan. Jordan, how was your week?
Pretty well. Yeah, I too suffered from a lot of smoke from last week. I don't know if it's smoke,
Vape inhalation.
vapor, something like that. Yeah. Not a big smoker, and yeah, it really is showing these days. Pretty short of
you.
breath. I hit the gym last week, the day after the recording.
What did?
How many people died?
It was my lungs.
And was your car okay?
How many?
Oh no, I didn't hit gym. I went to the gym.
How many treadmills just gave up as soon as you stepped on them?
Like, whoa, one at a time, please.
I love that from you.
Oh, nice. No, the week was good. Yeah.
So, like, do you actually
Not
get
allowed to
like
report
weight
for me.
capacity warnings when you?
Not a chance. I mean, I'm not one to judge.
No, he goes to a vet clinic where they exercise like horses and stuff.
You be like one of those big industrial horse like
Treadmills?
Treadmills.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have to pay extra for that? Then I'm assuming
No,
per mile
no,
or
no.
something, or
No, no.
per step, I should say.
No.
Okay.
I go to this gym that has purple logos, purple, yellow.
Planet Fitness.
It's called the Judgment Free Zone.
so
Everyone
much
is
judge-
judging.
Everyone judges.
There is no one that's not judging. My wife is very good at
Judging?
No, let me finish this. Okay, here we go. That's going to get clipped and that's going to get posted on the internet, and then here we go.
Hey, it's okay.
I'm screwed. No, my wife is actually a physical therapist assistant and really, really good around everything and anything gym related.
Nice.
So, I told her, I said, hey, it's Judgment Free Zone. She's like, okay, I'll do my best.
That's why she likes The Office so much.
Yeah, judging people's forms, all that good stuff. Which, yeah, it's good.
Have you ever got the what is it? The honk meter beeped at you?
No,
That's a
I've
thing.
not.
You know what I'm talking
Wait,
about.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
It's up on the wall. You can
There's like
see
a big light up on the wall. It is honk meter, right?
Hunk meter?
Or-
something like that.
So like if you're like being loud or obnoxious or like slamming weights or like screaming while you're trying to do a PR, you'll get like they'll set off the alarm and you'll like supposedly
I
get,
had no idea this was a thing.
yeah, it's a thing. So it's like
Okay.
it's not judgment free, but like if you're like doing your thing and working out and like breaking your back trying to like deadlift 7,000 pounds,
It's a lunk alarm.
lunk alarm. There it is.
LUNK.
Yeah.
Oh, not a hunk alarm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen it up on the wall.
Oh, Jordan probably gets the hunk alarm to go.
Probably.
I am not that big. However,
Yeah. I just-
there are
just-
some,
just teasing.
as you would say, Donnies, I think is your term.
Big Donnies.
Some Dons, yeah.
Yeah. There are some massive human
Hey,
beings. in my
judgment
gym.
free zone.
No. I am
like
100% judging them for who they are because they are ripped.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other big.
They're
No, honestly, it's better to just be bigger than to have all that muscle. Like,
there
what are
are
you
a
gonna do with
few
all that
people
muscle?
that should lay off the McDonald's drive-thru.
Can't take it with you.
Bigger people give way better hugs, anyways. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
man.
Like, there's benefits to it. Like Randall, jeez,
Me and Chris,
dog.
Jordan, you missed it. Me and Chris had about a 45-second hug when they walked in the door.
Yeah, and I was just
He-
on
he
my
like-
way to get
he
a.
like-
Has he come out yet?
He embraced me, and then I embraced him. And then like he went to pull back. I was like, no, you gotta let it build.
and then Randall went to pull back, and, I didn't let
and
go.
Chris didn't let me. And then we just both
My feet did go off the ground.
as hard as we could. It was glorious.
It was a very awkward, like not awkward. It was just a very, I don't know. Us.
And then he looked me dead in the eyes like, I need to go get a drill.
That's what I was on my way to get something before the podcast started, and Randall just happened to just walk in the door at
Yeah.
that time. So,
How's your rib cage feeling?
oh, it's there.
Is it?
Oh, it's there.
Very
Actually,
sturdy ribs.
I'm not a what should I say? I'm not a gym goer myself,
Gym rat?
but I have been hitting like some like self training, like some self workouts and stuff, and I run like
You like go to the gym to like play basketball. It's a different
oh
kind
yeah,
of gym.
yeah, like that. I don't go to like lift weights and stuff because I'm not a big fan of that sort of thing. But I do lack some body muscle. I won't deny that.
You are literally like skin and bones.
Yeah, it's not. I've actually kind of struggled to like keep weight on, which I know like a lot of people are like, oh,
Listen
that's
to
is
this
what it is.
coward.
But I'm genuinely serious. Like,
It's not like you're afraid of eating.
no, I'm not afraid to eat, dude. I love eating food.
Randall,
like
if
a
you,
coward
and
to
I,
me.
if you and I had that problem,
Just think where we'd be in life.
Hey, I'm just saying that goes two ways though, because some people like struggle to keep weight off, and then some people struggle to put it on. So it goes two ways.
The way I look at it is every time somebody gets rid of it, somebody has to pick it up. So I'm just helping somebody out with their weight loss program.
you are literally picking up the dead
okay.
weight.
true.
So we have a balance going on between us here.
Yeah. So you're welcome, Chris.
Gotcha. I appreciate that, man.
Jordan, that's enough.
So what does that make me? I'm also picking up the dead weight.
You're kind of in betweener.
What's your
Have you
your
seen me?
You look good.
Bro's a polar bear.
Take your shirt off and I'll judge for sure.
Let's not do that. Let's
Thunder
not do
Buddy?
that.
Thunder buddies for life.
What's your early like analysis of going to the gym?
It's a lot of fun.
Whoa. That's,
Do you always go like
It's a shocker.
together, like a couple things? Or is it
No,
like
we
a-
actually did this last Saturday for the very first time.
Nice. Oh, you went on a Saturday too. That's
Yeah.
bold. Was it pretty busy?
I think it was around 8:30. It wasn't too bad.
in the morning?
Morning?
Yes.
AM. Okay, that's
Yes.
probably better.
That is way too early to be going to the
Yeah,
gym.
my traditional time, I usually get to the gym a little after 7. My routine so far has been every other day. So that's been working out well with usually a break on Sunday. So it's been really well. Do some upper body, lower body, just body in general, I guess.
So you don't go to the gym on the days that Chick-fil-A is closed.
Correct.
Okay, interesting. I think there's a correlation, folks.
There is a new Raising Cane's being built not too far from the gym.
Oh
man.
My wife and I were talking about that's going to be a massive distraction.
Oh man, dude, we passed up Raising Cane's just yesterday. It was difficult. Like it was difficult because the chicken was calling my name,
The chicken's great. Fries are garbage, but
and the bread's not that great either. But the chicken just carries the load, and the sauce.
And
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, if you get carry out too, it's just
it's bad.
it's bad. The styrofoam box is just
Not a styrofoam fan
Yeah,
whatsoever.
don't get the styrofoam.
I had a conversation with
cane sauce is goated no matter what.
It is
but
good. Better than Chick-fil-A in some circumstances.
That is true.
I have changed my stance. If you go back like 30, 40, 50, 60, if you go back episodes.
We've talked about every 5 episodes.
Right. But it used to be Chick-fil-A sauce was my go-to. Now it's slowly flipping. My ideal
I
restaurant.
love to hear that from you.
My ideal restaurant would be a Raising Cane's Chick-fil-A combo with Cane's chicken, Cane's sauce, Chick-fil-A fries,
100%.
and a Chick-fil-A milkshake.
I think I've never been more in agreement.
That would be a
you.
perfect marriage.
I even like Chick-fil-A's like lemonade sweet tea better. Honestly,
Yeah.
That's
sweet
fair.
tea is a toss-up, but lemonade definitely is Chick-fil-A.
Gotcha. Yeah. The whole problem with, so we were in a rush a little bit yesterday. We were going to go to Raising Cane's, but then we were trying to stay healthy a little bit. It was my brother and myself. Shout out Brandon. And so we ended up going to a local place called Rise Pies, which is like brick oven pizza. It's delicious. Randall, actually, have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once.
It's a great place. I'm a big fan of that place. But I was also like, dude, if I'm going to have to, if we were thinking, we were trying to get home, watch some football, it's Sunday.
Big day.
So-
big day.
Yeah, which we don't need to talk about.
We're not
football.
talking
We're not
about
going
it.
to talk about football.
No,
No,
it
because
didn't
I'm going to
even
keep my
happen.
sanity. Yeah.
What
So,
happened?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
LeBron James? Question mark. Anyways, so we were like, if we're gonna take out, we're not gonna do it because none of us wanted to eat out of styrofoam, especially myself. I cannot stand styrofoam. It bothers me
it's
so
bad.
much.
Agreed.
And so I had a conversation with this about my pastor, with my pastor and some other friends, and we were talking about it, and it's just like, yeah, it's not great, And
Well-
we all have different opinions on it, but I definitely hold strong views when it comes to that.
I don't know if that's like a compliment or a point of concern that after church you guys just sit around and talk about fast food franchises.
This was not post church. This was not post church. This was like middle of the week.
I was like,
At like a
so
group
the sermon,
event.
Yeah, so where are we going for lunch?
Actually, you know what's funny? So
That's not a shot at your church. I love
No,
your
no,
church.
yeah.
I love Joe, your pastor, but it's just funny.
yeah, it's the funniest thing ever.
the way my mind works,
Yeah, my pastor, he preached yesterday. Okay, obviously.
Oh, Joe?
And Joe Jr. Shout out Joe Jr. And
Need to have him on.
yeah, we need to have that man on. He's awesome. But he's preaching in the morning. Okay, lays the word of God down. Okay, just brings the heat.
Absolutely
Slathers it.
butters the bread.
Butters the bread. Okay, literally. And the funniest thing is that later in the evening we
that-
had what was
I'm trying to make sure. No, yeah, don't take that the wrong way. He was
He was doing the Lord's work.
He was spreading. No, he's not spreading the.
well like
jam.
a good level butter.
He was
spread.
laying the hammer.
Pasting. I don't know.
Oh, just pasting. All right.
Pasting.
All right. So
He's having a good.
He was
sermon.
doing the Lord's work.
yeah, so he preached a great message, and
He
then
was
later
pick-
that. Okay, what we got? We're still on this.
He was picking it up and the Lord was putting it down.
Okay. Understood. Understood. Okay, we'll roll with that one. So later that same Sunday, okay, we had a party for someone who's moving away.
Hey. Oh, moving
Why are
away.
you happy
man.
about that?
I thought it was a birthday party.
No,
Totally jumped the gun.
this is a good friend of the church, and she's moving away. Okay, so
Good
we had a
for her.
party. We had a big party for her, like a surprise party. Okay, but Joe is there, and I just say this because he's laying the word. He's just bringing the fire on Sunday morning. Then later that night, he is like his face is painted, because he's partying along, and it's just a contrast from the morning to the evening. He's up there
Love
just
it.
giving it, and then later that evening, he looks like he could be at a carnival.
He's picking up and putting it down for a different reason.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, it was a
Yeah.
good moment. Shout out Joe Jr. Great dude.
Sweet.
Yeah, Randall. We just talked about Jordan. How was your week?
How was your week, Chris?
Oh, you're gonna talk about me now. I just asked you.
Oh.
But if you don't want to talk,
You didn't
don't
finish
have
it.
to. Okay.
No, I can talk.
Yeah. How was your week? Quick, give us a rundown. Okay.
Yeah. No. I actually had a very good week. Busy week. Seemed like this week flew by.
Bro, crazy how fast this
Flew
week
by.
went.
Weekend. It was okay. Church was phenomenal. Watched some football, which is tragic all the way around. Actually, I don't know if we want to talk about this too much, but we had a very exciting post podcast last week. Very exciting evening.
we can talk about it.
Can we get into it right now?
Actually, I'm still cleaning up the. Mess.
you still cleaning
I'm still
up?
cleaning up the mess with that when I talked to a police officer literally right before I came on the show,
This would
Really?
have been about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago.
physically
Yeah.
in person.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to share the story, from your perspective?
Yeah, I'll share it. Me and Chris were heavily involved.
Actually, you know what? let me
If
Chris
you-
myself. No. Let me start it off, and then there's a great point where you can come in and then start sharing your side. Okay?
All right, we'll tag team
Yes,
here.
we'll
From here
tag
on
team
out,
here.
though. From here on out, it's Chris. And
Well,
I.
this will be mine and Chris's week because this is probably the highlight of our weeks. I think so. It was a highlight of mine, probably.
Wait, it was a
Highlight as in
highlight?
like an action-filled moment.
It was like the most pertinent thing. Like if I thought about this week for the rest of the year, this is what would come up.
Okay,
That's
so
what I
it,
mean.
it just kind of like cleaned
Yeah.
out the valves in your heart.
Yeah. Anyway,
an odd way to put it,
Chris,
but
continue.
yeah. So we finished the podcast last week, and we're chilling out. Jordan. He's chilling. Randall's chilling. Then we're like, okay,
Jordan's playing
Randall.
with his smoke machines.
Jordan Randall going to go home because we're kind of done for the evening. And then it was brought to the attention that Randall needs to go drop me off at where I work. Okay, to
Your
pick up.
dad brought it up.
Yeah, my father brought it up to drop off or to pick up a car that was just out of the shop just recently. So it got done being fixed, all that good stuff. So Randall's like, yeah, absolutely. So we grabbed the keys for it. I hopped in Randall's vehicle. We listened to what was the vehicle? Or what was the vehicle? What was the song? I forget. Pickup Man.
Pickup Man.
Pickup
By-
Man.
Yeah, Joseph Diffie.
I listened to the original first, and then the
Randall did show me both.
yes,
Yeah.
then the pop version.
And
Nice.
I can confirm, and I told you this later. The original is definitely better, in my opinion.
I asked you like 2 days later. So
Yeah.
what did you think? Anyway, continue,
Yeah.
Chris.
Like I like Post Malone. The original is still better. So
Love that from you.
we get over to where I work and where I preside every day for the most of the
Where
hours.
the car was parked.
Where the car was parked, and we pull up. And there's 2 lanes at where I work. Like you can enter 2 separate lanes, and in the bottom lane, which we passed to get to the second lane, which we pulled into, we saw this vehicle. And when initially we were like, oh, there's a cop, sitting there, which I mean that happens often. They'll sit there and monitor sometimes. We pull in. As we get closer, we're like, oh, it's not a cop. So we still pull around. We pull up to where the car is parked that is just got done being fixed. And we sit there for a little bit, and Randall right away is like, that's kind of odd. Like, that car's sitting over there. And I'm like, yeah, that is kind of odd. And it was also this is an important thing to note. It was a foggy, partially foggy, like misting.
Well
night.
documented that it was a foggy night.
Yeah.
It was actually the smoke machines from the studio.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Merely
It was
3 miles away.
It was definitely talked
Yeah.
about on the podcast that it was definitely a foggy night. So that being said, I'm getting right where I'm going to pass it off to you, Randall. So we're like, this is kind of odd, and then we realize because it's a gravel driveway that enters, and then we realize like this car, and I rolled my window down. That's why I mentioned because I couldn't see very well. Rolled the window down, and I'm like, oh shoot, that car's been like hit. Like, and maybe you saw it even first. 'Cause I couldn't see very
mentioned
well.
something to you. I was like, Chris, it looks like a bumper's hanging off the back.
Yeah. So the rear bumper was hanging down, and then I rolled my window down. I'm like, oh, the side doors, like the passenger side doors, banged up too. And so at this point, we were like, well, Randall right away is like, we should go check and see, make sure everything's okay and stuff. Because the car was still on. We could clearly see the car was
Lights
still
were on.
running. Yeah. So I was like, hey, I'm going to hop in the vehicle and I'm going to pull over there with you behind you. And then at this point, Randall, like I get out, Randall drives over. I get in the vehicle that was just fixed. I drive behind Randall. Getting out of my car, Randall pulls up to the passenger. Like I'm just getting out of the car. Randall's, by that point, he's walking up to the passenger side door. Then what happened from there?
Yeah. So, like you said, like we immediately.
This story, you're not giving your official statement.
Hey,
Yeah.
if the cops want to use it, we'll just tell them to listen to the podcast.
We're just trying to get some extra listeners out of this.
So yeah, Chris and me identified very quickly that we saw the car looked like it was damaged
Yeah.
on the side. So we pull up there. I kind of
Did we mention what time of day this was? It was dark.
It was dark.
it was dark. It was like 8:00.
Pretty valuable. piece of
8:30.
information.
We pulled in at 7:15. That's
True, it was. Sorry.
And one other note before you start, I did mention the bottom drive was gravel. We noticed this car was on the grass.
yes,
beside
when
it.
we drove by,
Yeah.
like, that's weird. He's
Yeah, it's
parked in
like
the yard.
right in the yard. That's really odd. So okay, go
Yeah,
on. You
so-
were walking up to the passenger
I
side.
made a joke to Chris. I was like, as he got out of the car, I was like, if they shoot me, just remember me as I was.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
How were you?
Oh, yeah, and I should mention everything that we saw from a distance. Like one of our first, like my first thought, and I don't know about you, Randall, was definitely hit and run. Like something about it was
100%.
just like odd that
I'm
there's
like,
just one
this is a
vehicle.
hit and run, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, now you can go on.
So I pull up and I pull up along the passenger side, get out, and I walk up to the passenger side and immediately identify that there is a elderly gentleman in the driver's side walk up, and he just has his head back, walk up to the passenger side window, tap on the window, did the, sir, can you hear me? Sir, you all right? No response. Did that 2 or 3 times with increasing,
Force and gusto.
raising my voice or whatnot.
Yep.
No response. So I go around to the other side and knock on the window once, and I'm like a foot away from his head. Say, sir, can you hear me? Sir, are you all right? Nothing. And so I like rapped very solidly on the window.
Ooh, how did that feel?
one thing
Was it knuckles, wrist?
It was all wrist.
Yeah, he actually just bashed it in. Just threw his
So
hand right
you
through
did?
the window.
No.
No. One thing to note though, after you were on the passenger side and you tapped and you saw that he was unresponsive, you saw that this guy's out of it. Before you're walking around to the other side, because this is just when I was getting out of my vehicle, you told me call 911 because he's not with it.
I did tell you. I said, Chris, he's non-responsive. I said,
Yeah.
I said you should definitely call it in.
Yeah.
And you got on the line, correct? And I went around the other side and rapped. The second time I rapped very loud and said, sir, and he he like bolted and kind of sat upright and looked right into my eyes. I immediately identified that his eyes were very glassed over. And he was very out of it right away. Thought maybe drugs, alcohol, whatever. But he was acting very sporadic. Like he wasn't trying to talk. He was just like, he was very like head bobbing, rocking back and forth, arms moving, but not like sporadically trying to get out of the car. Just like very
Methodically,
motions, like just kind of like you would be rocking back and forth a rocking chair, leading praise and worship or something.
Yeah.
If you've ever done that.
My man was in the spirit.
So right away, I come back around, and Chris was on the phone at that point talking to the officer. I said, or talking to 911. Dispatch.
I have a question about that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
How was that to call 911?
Yeah.
Was that your first time?
First time.
Kind of jealous. I've never done it for.
Oh, you
actually haven't?
Very interesting.
I've called the fire station number. I've never called this 911.
Okay.
I've done it twice.
I didn't think it was gonna work. Honestly, I was like,
Is this a joke?
The feeling of pressing 911, I don't know. It's kind of an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Oh, I was amped. Like in that moment on the phone call. And then honestly, the person who answered, very underwhelming. Like very underwhelming.
Hey, this is 911.
No, why'd you make a southern
okay.
accent right away?
Sorry, profile.
Bro.
What was it?
Well, I'm just saying, like this lady picks up and she's like, 911, how can we help you?
Yeah, they're trained to be super calm.
And that made sense in the
not
moment.
to escalate anything. Like they're trained to do that.
Granted, my mental reaction was really laxed in a way. Like it usually, but my body was shaking. You know what I mean?
That's the adrenaline.
Like mentally, I'm like, okay, obviously, this is gonna be okay. We're gonna figure this out. But then I'm just shaking. And I'm there and I'm talking to her and I'm like, there's an accident. I'm like, good grief, Chris, hold it together. So anyways, I quick called it in and she was like, all right, we're going to dispatch an ambulance and a state trooper. So
I come around and realize he's alive, which after I knocked the first time before I knocked the second time.
Yeah, you said this.
I literally, I told you this later. I told everybody later. I said literally, that was my last rap because if he didn't respond, I'm like, crap, I just found a dead guy. I literally, because
for real.
There's no reason nobody would hear this unless they're unconscious or dead. But anyway, found out later he was just unconscious. Anyway, walked around to Chris. I said, Chris, he's moving, but he's very sporadic. He's definitely not okay.
Yeah.
I remember telling you that. And right away, I know just a little bit because my dad's an EMT, been around fire station, whatever. Just I have a rudimentary knowledge of what to do. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call him. You're on the phone with 911. So I just called my dad and said, hey, I just real quick explain the scenario. And right away, I was like, what should I do? Should I try to get him out of the car? What's the best thing to do? And he said, don't get him out of the car. I tried the passenger side door. I didn't try the driver's side. The passenger side was locked or it was just caved in enough that it didn't work. But I said, the doors are locked. He said, well, don't try to open it. That's breaking and entering.
Yep.
But he said, leave him alone. And I explained what was happening, sporadic back and forth. He was unconscious, woke up, glassed eyes, whatever. And my dad just kind of he's like, oh, he said 100% it's drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, and right away I was like, okay, but this guy's in his 60s. He's an elderly gentleman. And my dad's whole demeanor changed. It was funny. I could just hear it in his voice. He's like, oh, well, in that case, he was sitting home in the recliner. And he had no, like, oh, yeah, it's another drunkie ran off the road, like, type of thing.
Sure.
And
On
his-
a
his-
Monday night.
Yeah, and it's going hard. His whole demeanor
that's true.
changed. And so he said, just don't, he said, wait till everybody gets there, yada, yada, yada. Wait till the paramedics get there and just, they need to take a statement, whatever. So I hung up the
Yeah.
phone. And by that time, you were off the phone with 911.
Yep.
And looking back, this is probably the smartest thing you did because it actually, I never explained this
What?
to you. This is the
What?
smartest
Oh,
thing you
Chris?
did. Like we were
Come
standing,
on now.
we were standing there. And by the way, those minutes take lifetimes. When you're waiting
Holy
to hear,
moly, do they
when
ever,
you're waiting
bro.
to hear sirens, it takes forever.
bro. It felt like an eternity that we were
takes
standing
forever.
there.
And it wasn't even someone I knew or like a love. I can't believe it was like a loved one or someone in an accident.
Yeah, for real.
Very
You
dramatic.
would have been inside the car. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Come on now. May I know what I did that was so smart?
Yeah, well, I'll explain it to you as the story goes on.
This is worse
Chris looked at
suspense
me.
than that.
Chris looked at me. He's like, I'm just gonna go check our cameras to see how long, see if I can see anything that happened or see how long he's been here.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yep,
yeah, that's fine. I was like, yeah, it's probably smart. And
Because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah,
'Cause,
like
we're
which
just
is very
chilling.
smart. We were just sitting there twiddling our thumbs. And so Chris went to the office, and I waited a little bit, and then I heard I actually walked. I didn't know what else to do. I just walked over to the back of the car behind the guy and just started praying. Like I didn't know what else to do for the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I was like, this is very weird scenario.
That's stellar
What-
from you,
what-
Randall. That's
what
hey,
am I-
you know what? That's stellar from you. Come on now.
Well, I didn't know what else to do for
good
him,
move.
so I
That's
just
good
started
move.
praying a little bit. And pretty soon, 12 minutes response time. I feel like they could do better since their station is literally 3 miles away. But hey, that's neither here nor there.
We're actually the farthest from
No,
the
it was.
station.
It wasn't what you're thinking. It was the local dispatch.
Okay.
It was like a
so that is like-
subcontractor. Their base is just right up there. Anyway,
Okay.
so it took 12 minutes, and so the one ambulance pulls in, and I figured a cruiser would show up first because they normally do, which is ironic. But the cruiser
It
didn't
took
show up.
quite a while for a cop
It
to
also
show up.
was a state road, so it had to be a statey. So that may have been something too. It took a while for a statey to come.
Interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, little things I do know. Anyway, so one ambulance pulled in, and then another one was about 2 minutes behind it. And then I saw my dad drive by. So his curiosity got the better of him, and so he drove. It takes like 15 minutes to get to our place, and he got there about the same time, just slightly after the ambulance.
Your dad
which
was
is kind of
absolute
hilarious.
unit. Like he
Your
got
dad's
there.
response time 12 minutes and 13 seconds.
Bro,
From a
it-
different township,
bro, it
different
was
county.
wild.
It was a different county
Yeah.
actually.
Did
Yeah.
he run lights and sirens?
I know he did.
Oh, how's
He's
it-
not allowed unless you're on call.
Well, you
Oh,
called
wow.
him.
I took for
called him.
I took for granted, considering how fast he got there, that he definitely would have been like
No, he did.
flashing some lights
Oh.
and stuff. Okay, wow, interesting.
Anyway, so he pulls in and just asks a couple questions, and he goes down there, and he actually knew of the paramedic. He recognized and worked with him before, knew him anyway.
Nice.
Went around, just asked a couple questions, and I'll save all the terms, whatever. But he was non-responsive, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. They were trying to find his they got him out of the car at that point by the time my dad got there and had him on the stretcher and were getting him in the back of the ambulance. And he was non-responsive, or he was kind of with it, but he was kind of doing the same thing, trying to figure out what's wrong with him, right? Trying to stabilize him before they move him. Sure. And getting IVs
Now,
or getting in line in.
This was all while he was still sitting in the driver's seat, correct?
yeah.
Or did they get him onto a stretcher at this point?
they got him on the stretcher first.
Okay, gotcha.
Which
And
How is
they
the-
don't do anything like that normally until they get him in the back of the ambulance.
Which that was muddy
think. I
down
don't know.
there.
What?
That was very
It
muddy down there.
Very muddy.
How
But
did they
it
get
was
the
a slog
stretcher out of
fest.
there?
There was four of them. They got it
yeah,
out pretty easy.
okay.
They're good at what they do. I'll hand it to them. They're good at what they do. And so they got him in the back. My dad walked around the corner of the ambulance and saw like a lump on the side of the guy's stomach and thought that was from like a seatbelt accident or something. It had to do with like the liver or something, which is very dangerous supposedly.
Yeah.
Dad explained it all to me, but I'll just without making myself look like an idiot. What it looked like was very bad. So they started like trying to like trouble solve, thinking it was that. Meanwhile, I just walked back up to the office, and you by that time your dad got there, and you were looking at the
Security.
Yeah.
security cameras.
Yeah.
And my dad walked in and he said, "Hey, do you have any idea like how long he's been here and whatnot?" And by that time we were able to figure out he's been sitting there for over 45 minutes before we got there.
Yes.
yeah.
Which, for one, that's alarming. Like, very
crazy.
alarming.
It's crazy.
Wild.
And Dad's like, okay, wow. And then we were like, and then Chris just randomly, this is what was very important.
Oh, that's my moment, baby.
You just said,
lay it on me.
You were just like, dude, this guy was doing donuts in the parking lot. And you said it kind of like this, but he came in and was just drove around.
Yeah, by donuts, like circling our office, like the main office.
He did
where
like
we work out
office and
of.
like stopped at one point and like backed up and like would stop and start and like very
And
sporadic.
all while his car was like damaged. Like his car, he entered
Exactly.
our place of business
And
with
I
a
don't know
damaged vehicle.
exactly.
Bumper hanging off the back and everything.
Yeah.
And so Dad, he saw that. He's like, I wonder if they checked his blood sugar,
Yeah.
which they I don't know if they did or not. So he went running out, and here Dad heard that he was doing sporadic, which helped him figure out that like he was a diabetic. And was just very critically low, like life-threateningly low blood sugar levels.
Yeah.
But they were able to get him pumped full of fluids. And by the time they went to transport, he was back with it enough where he knew his name.
Minorly conscious.
Yeah, minorly with it. He'll
Yeah.
obviously never remember what happened or whatnot, but...
Yeah, I
So that was
confirmed-
actually like it was like said like he's just doing donuts in the parking lot, but like that little bit of information for like us meant haha he was doing donuts in the parking lot. For them it's like he was out of control. He wasn't conscious. He was like
that is sketchy.
it's like yeah he was
that's
low blood
crazy.
sugar anyway, so it helped
Yeah.
him figure that out. So good job, Chris.
Thanks.
The police officer I spoke with today said that they still don't know whether he swiped a guardrail, swiped a bridge, they have no idea. All they remember is he was coming from a grocery store in town.
Yeah,
Or all
okay.
that. That's all he remembers, and he doesn't know what he hit from there.
And what did
could have been a lot of things. Who
your
knows?
your father did mention like what was he like 1 to 3 hours away from dying possibly if he sat there long enough, or was it more?
Give us the over-under.
When they go unconscious, it's 1 to 3 hours. By the time they transported, it was over an hour. By the time the ambulance got there, it was over an hour.
Okay.
That he was from when he first pulled in the parking lot.
So had no one been there, we're talking like the few like last hours of his life.
Yeah.
pretty much.
So-
Sorry, go ahead.
So to like not drag this out. So basically, he's fine. Everything.
We don't know that.
Yeah, he is fine. I
Well,
think. I believe
unless
so.
something drastically happened, but like, it's not like he was diabetic. So basically, but looking back on it now, I was talking to Dad later. I thought he was like sporadically like moving his arms when I woke him up, but he had his arm like on the armrest and was just like dropping it,
his right arm.
his right arm.
Yeah.
But I thought he was just flailing about. But here, he subconsciously knew he needed an insulin shot, and he was pointing
to where
at
the growth was.
where the growth was. So the intrusion the Dad saw was just like a calcium buildup
Yeah.
from like 40, 50 years.
Good
of-
use of the word intrusion. Good stuff,
yeah,
Randall.
like was like 40, 50 years of just calcium buildup from being poked with needles and taking shots, and it happens after amount of time. And so that's
Sure.
what Dad saw, and that's what all the paramedics saw, but it meant to be nothing. But yeah,
That's crazy.
got him figured out. But yeah, long story short, but the thing that blew my mind too is you said later he pulled into the middle of the road.
Yes, I can attest to this part of the story because I'm kind of bored right now.
Jordan's like, I wanted the story.
So I was halfway.
How do you feel about just ditching and missing out on all the fun?
Well, I didn't necessarily miss out on the fun. I don't know if you knew what happened. So I actually was halfway home. I get a call and got a very quick update on what is happening. So the first thing I was like, well, I can't pull over and turn around. I'm too far from home. I live 40 minutes from the studio.
Plus, you wouldn't have done any good being there. I mean, let's be real.
There's
here.
nothing I could have done.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, the first thing I can do is check the security cameras. So I pulled over, and I was actually not bragging, but I was the first one to start looking at cameras. And yeah, so I was going through.
Kind of sound like
footage.
he was bragging.
I was. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. I need some form of
Life,
right
substance.
exactly from this story. But no, it's a sad situation, so I'm not making light of it. But yeah, so I pulled over in a Burger King parking lot and started scrubbing footage because first thing
Let's be real. You were already in.
Yeah,
He was already in the Burger King.
He was
parking
already in the
lot.
Burger King parking
Yeah,
lot.
and it just happened to get the call. Then he's like,
I was
"Oh,
not.
that's convenient." I was
not.
stopped.
I was driving. I physically pulled off. I was like, well, there's either
Yeah,
Wendy's-
to get a burger.
He was mid bite of his Whopper when he got the
Okay.
call.
He's like, oh crap!
I did end up getting a burger. I did end up getting a burger. It just was
Oh no way!
it was after everything happened.
Oh, the stress of
Yeah.
whatever
I
happened.
was
to
there
you.
for like 45 minutes.
Jordan's like,
Yeah.
I saved a life. I deserve a burger.
Okay,
Yeah, that's yeah. At BK, I had it my way.
that's wild
so-
from you.
So yeah, I started going through footage because I was told from the very beginning it was a hit and run, And I was like, okay, so how long has this person been there? What was happening? Was it on our parking lot? What were the details? So I started going through all the footage and found out this person had been there for quite a while. And physically driving around our lot, could have hit multiple other vehicles on the lot, didn't. Actually tried driving up a set of stairs that I had built, didn't budge the stairs.
And here's the crazy
did?
part.
No, he did not. Tried driving up twice.
Here's the crazy part. So, like I said,
will go up the stairs.
he was parked parallel in the grass with the exit. Okay.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, so it borders right along the state road.
Right.
He pulled out onto the road, and his front bumper was on the double yellow lines, and he sat there for
Yes.
30 seconds, 45 seconds before he backed
It was
up.
at least a minute.
No, it was not quite a minute. Like, he was out there, but then he did it multiple times.
Oh, that's
that
right.
was the
Okay,
crazy
okay.
thing.
Yeah, I thought-
He backed up onto the grass, and all this time, like, I don't know what level
There's
of consciousness.
people going around. But, like,
yeah, and people
the
drove
thing
around
that
him.
blew
They
my
would
mind
slow down.
Yes.
was there's this vehicle, bumper hanging off, side destroyed, sitting in the middle of a state road, and there's people just going around him, and nobody stopped to help or see what's going on. And then he finally and I get if he was sitting where he was sitting, because like if you just drive by, it looked like he was sitting in the driveway. Like you really had to like be familiar
Yeah.
or look
Like,
hard to see that he was in the yard.
Where
Just
he was
kind of
at
like-
when Randall and I passed.
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
a little bit more difficult
like
to see.
exactly. And so I get that if he just pulled up and parked there, it just looked like a car sitting in the parking lot. It literally did.
Yeah.
At first glance. So I get why nobody would help, but like the fact that he was in the middle of the road, literally
Yeah.
dying, like it's
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah,
and
it's
people
very
drove
sad.
by, and like that's why like we got home and like I was talking to my wife about it, and like it was very very much a God thing that me
Oh,
and
yeah.
Chris showed up
Oh, yeah,
because
absolutely.
he
Yeah.
100% unless somebody else stopped, he would have died.
Which at that point, like, the opportunities for people to stop were pretty high. And I don't think he would have pulled out onto the road again, because he was, I think by that point,
No,
he
he
was
was-
like very out
No,
of it.
Dad said like me waking him up. Like Dad was actually surprised he did he did wake up. Like,
Okay.
I rapped pretty hard.
Nice.
I was pounding. like
Nice.
panic was starting to set. I was like, crap, he's dead. But like he jolted like,
Yeah.
and that was his last like
Yeah.
bit of consciousness. But
It's crazy stuff. No, it was very much so a God thing. It all worked out in the end, and everyone's fine. So
he did do minor damage around the office. So there was a couple things.
yeah.
And so that is why I was meeting a police officer right before this podcast and going pictures and some other stuff. But yeah, wasn't
Yeah.
anything major. But yeah, I still did some damage. But the fact that he didn't kill anyone,
That's a bonus, too.
Because
Like, yeah.
you have no clue how far he drove
well,
like that.
we do know he pulled out from security camera footage that they have. He pulled out of one of the most dangerous intersections without an accident in our county, which is pretty impressive.
Which one?
Oh, I know exactly which one that is. It's just down from where
Really?
where
Yes.
the place of business
Yep.
is. Yeah.
So he pulled out of there.
right
he
down
pulled
from
out
where
of
we
there.
work. That's crazy.
In front of it, well, right behind other vehicles.
Wow.
So yeah,
Muscle memory, am I right?
Something like that. That's crazy though.
No, so that was
Easily like the wildest happening.
that was crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, he was just to answer your further question, like he was probably realistically an hour or so away from being no longer with
I
us.
did
Yeah,
have a
okay.
question. Was his vehicle in park? Because if the doors were locked,
So here's what,
It was.
he would have
yes.
physically
Okay.
had to. Okay, he would have had. One
So
of
he
two
backed
things.
up and subconsciously put it in park.
so that's I misunderstood that. I thought he was in drive
Okay,
and
so
he had
he-
the brakes. He was just on the brakes.
No, he was not on the brake.
So he
Okay.
was in park.
yeah.
Okay, so then he had to physically hit the lock button on his car.
No,
Because
Well,
when you
I never checked. See, I checked the
driver's
passenger
or
side,
passenger,
but
yeah.
it was crumpled in. So it could have just been like once the door gets damaged, it won't work, and the handle was messed
okay,
up too.
and you didn't open the driver's
I
side.
never touched the driver's side, so
Wow.
it could have been unlocked.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Those some details that I didn't know. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, it was a crazy.
Which
ending
I'm
to
assuming it was unlocked because the paramedics walked right up to it, and opened the door.
See, but
Like,
no,
they
but
didn't-
the one dude had something with him though, and I don't know if he used it. But
they-
he had like this like stick thing.
I don't think they
that
used
a
it because
bar?
he
And
opened
then-
the door like right away.
Jaws
Okay,
of-
okay.
Jaws of Life?
There's another detail I
Jaws
missed.
of
Which
Life.
by this point I was still inside watching this happen on cameras because I was going back over footage.
Secretly, you were just scared.
Oh no, dude, I do terrible in those situations. You have no clue how bad I do
Chris
in
needed a
those situations.
safe space. Chris needed a safe space.
I just needed,
He's in
yeah.
there just pounding lollipops.
But
and Jolly
clearly,
Ranchers.
I aided the whole evening.
You did.
Okay,
You did.
come on now.
He provided aerial surveillance.
Yeah.
Hey, aerial support's good too.
Yeah, that's why I told Randall, I was like, you go over there, check on him. I'll make sure you don't get shot from inside on the cameras.
You did park like oddly far away.
Well, okay, hold up. I parked right behind your vehicle.
I know. I actually told you to move then, but
Yeah, good stuff though. It was a good ending.
I don't know if that's
all in
good
all.
stuff, but yeah. No.
Okay, well, yeah, whatever. It worked out in the end.
it was an experience where we learned a lot and could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Lot worse.
And now I can say I've called 911 for the first time in my
Yeah,
life. So,
screenshot that in your call history.
I mean,
Why?
I don't.
It's a day for the books.
I remember it. I'm pretty sure I
I
remember
don't
it.
think I'll remember. Like, forget that.
I will say, don't make my mistake. So the very first time I called 911, I went back and I was like, because it was a big event. I called 911 for a guy that was having a seizure.
Nice.
And I thought he was dead. I'm like, this guy's gone. And so I called 911, but later I was like, after I was calmed down and stuff, and they were walking me through what to do, I went back a couple days later and looked at the 911 of my call history. I'm just like, I don't know why I did it. I just, for anyhow. It's like one of those moments when you're maybe stalking someone you shouldn't be on Instagram and you accidentally like their photo.
You accidentally hit 911.
I accidentally called 911. I was so...
Bam, bam.
I was so mad. I quickly hit the end button. Thankfully, I was expecting a call back from them because that's normally what happens, but did not get that back. So I think
Must not went through.
I think I caught it quick enough. But yeah,
Good for you.
don't call 911 twice.
Don't like your ex's photos.
Yeah,
was-
don't do that either.
That's fine. I was speaking to a friend, and I told him, I was like, it was the first time I called 911. And he's like, bro, I had to call 911 for the first time this past week, too. He told me a story, had to do with like a house fire. It was very interesting. But the funny thing is, he's like, oh, it's the first time I had to call 911. Oh, he's like, oh, no, you know what? I did call them accidentally as a child. And so, like, fully as a child, he would have dialed 911 and gone through that and whatnot all. And I'm like, that's kind of sketch. I'm like,
Yeah.
Hey.
yeah, but
At
no
least he called.
dispatcher's gonna be happy with the kid calling, just being stupid. You know,
No, but
it's
it
gotta be-
happens all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
There
but
are some watermelons in this world that
I could
call
pound a
911.
watermelon right now.
Oh,
I've read stories of some people that have called 911 because their DoorDash order is late. Like maybe someone looked at them wrong and on the street, something. I mean, like,
yeah, I've heard stories just enough to know that people call 911 for literally anything.
it's
Yeah.
so sad.
Literally anything.
And guys, speaking of stories, we have a segment to get into. Moving on from the tragicness that's been talked about. I was waiting for a good segue there, and you guys provided it. So I'm going to move on with the podcast now.
And real quick, Chris, just T's and P's for that gentleman.
Yeah,
Hope
okay.
everything's okay. T's and P's.
Moment of silence.
Let's go,
Hey, it's
phones.
not bad.
Get better, man. All right, let's move into the segment. So keeping this thing moving, we got a banger segment coming along. And I did reference stories because this does have to do with stories from history that has come and gone. And we got some, it's going to be awesome. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. We've done something similar in the past where we take a news headline or a story that happened in the past, and I tell you it, and we react to it, and it's just this whole thing. So
Sounds good.
what we're going to do today is we're going to play a little game. So Randall, I'm going to need your involvement. Jordan, I'm going to need your involvement. I'm going to read off a newspaper headline, a story headline, okay?
Okay.
And now the name of the game is History or Hillary. Like, so it's truth or it's false, okay?
Let me guess. Hillary's false?
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
So I'm going to need you guys to call true history, as in this happened, or Hillary, as in it is a lie.
Okay. So
Okay.
either true history or Hillary.
Let me
Yeah.
practice. Hillary! Okay,
That's what we're going to need. So all I'm going to do is read off the headline, and you guys have to judge it off of that. If it was made up, if it was fabricated, or if this is something
Easy
that
enough.
I
was
like
a
this.
real enough headline in history.
I like this.
All right, you guys ready to get into the first one?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, number one. Fire crews called after smoke seen in sky turned out to be cloud. Headline of a paper. Is that history or Hillary?
History.
Can you say that once more?
Fire crews called out after smoke seen in sky turned out to be cloud.
History.
History or Hillary?
There are some stupid people in this world. That's got to be history.
Well, I mean, let's be a little careful with what we say here. So you guys are both calling history. This happened.
Oh, yeah.
You are both correct. This was a
Obviously.
real happening.
I knew it.
This took place. I don't have a date, unfortunately, but in Britain. So shocker. So that
Wow.
happened. I do
Leave
have.
it up to the Brits.
I do have a part of the headline here.
Well,
It says,
In their
Go ahead.
Well,
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say in their defense, it's always raining. So if they would ever see a nice cloud,
It's got to be smoke.
it was probably the first time they saw like a nice cloud in Britain.
It's like a 12-year-old kid for the first time seeing a cloud.
Yeah, just part of the headline here. It says firefighters were called to what was believed to be smoke from a fire, but turned out to be a cloud. The low-lying cloud was seen passing over the A1 at Colsterworth. on
Oh yeah, I've
Tuesday
been
evening.
there. Jordan, you've been there.
yeah,
right?
absolutely. I know exactly.
Readers responded to the news with tongue-in-cheek comments when mentioned on our Twitter. So,
Tongue in cheek.
Tongue in cheek,
Like-
mate.
I'm not even going to explain that to you, Randall. You can figure that out on your own
Like
time.
this?
You're awfully good at that motion that
tongue
you
in
just
cheek.
did. Okay. We're just going to move on to the next one here. All right. Both of you have a point. The winner, by the way, gets a
tied.
very special prize.
Oh, really?
That I'm going to mention that too.
Another hug?
All right. Number 2. A Florida couple arrested for selling tickets to heaven. Is this history or is this Hillary, my friends?
This is not Florida man though. This is Florida couple.
I'm going Hillary.
You're going that this is fabricated. Okay.
I'm gonna go. This is truth.
You're saying this is truth.
This is truth.
All right.
Was this the last name Joel Osteen? Or is that?
I don't like that you said
Sorry,
that, but okay.
Sorry, keep going.
Okay.
I love that he said
All right.
that.
So Randall's saying false, Jordan's saying true. This
Yes.
is it. Okay. Randall, you are wrong. Jordan, you got this one right. This actually was a legit happening that took place here within the past 20 to 25 years. Don't have an
Wow.
exact date on it.
Okay.
But yeah, and I have the whole story here. Not going to read it
Does
because it's
it-
so long.
Does
but-
it have a price on there for the price?
Yes, it
of the
actually
cost?
does.
I literally
It
gonna
does.
ask that.
They sold the tickets on the street for $99.99.
$100 to heaven?
Yeah,
That is an
per
awesome
ticket.
marketing scheme.
Dude.
Okay, wait. I'm just going to read off
that
some of this
first
because it's
class?
actually really interesting. Okay.
Yeah, like
Is
is
that
there?
Spirit
Yeah,
Airlines?
So, guys, this is what it says. It says a couple in Florida, Tito and Amanda Watts, were arrested a few days
Is
ago
that
for
J.J.
selling.
Watt's parents?
Yes, for selling tickets to heaven to hundreds of people. They sold the tickets on the street for $99.99 per ticket. Told buyers the tickets were made from solid gold and that each ticket reserved the buyer a spot in heaven.
Nice.
Simply present the ticket at the pearly gates and you're in.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Tito Watts said in his police statement, I do not care what the police say. The tickets are solid gold, and it was Jesus who gave them to me behind the KFC and told me to sell them so I could get me some money to go to outer space. So
That is awesome.
things happen in Florida, okay?
I was like, it's a shaky story until he said behind the KFC. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that
legit.
checks. It checks.
Oh my gosh. I
Now-
love that.
Here is my offer. I'm also selling tickets. $89.99, and they came from
sheesh.
behind a Chick-fil-A.
We're probably behind that Burger
They
King
have
that
been
you were at
off-
just last week.
Yeah, they've been authenticized.
Oh, okay. No, the Chick-fil-A, I got it.
Chick-fil-A,
I get
they've
it.
got to be good.
Absolutely.
Are
Or
they
Delta.
Are they golden though? And did Jesus give them to you himself?
They were given to me on a Sunday.
Wow.
Chick-fil-A's closed.
No,
Oh,
no, they were closed.
that's
They were closed. But he took time out of his day.
For
I
you,
should've
I
given
doubt
it
it.
all right. We're moving on to the next one, Jordan. Your story is awful.
Next one.
Next headline: Man struck by lightning faces battery charge. Is this history or is this Hillary, my friends?
I'm going Hillary.
You think this is a lie,
Yes.
Jordan? What's your answer?
So what was he? Why was he charged for battery?
I can't tell you the story.
Oh.
This is you strictly have to go off the headline and decide if this is real or not.
He was charged for battery.
This was probably post being struck by lightning, and this was a crime that was done in the meantime. Why? I don't need to tell you this.
This is Hillary.
You think this is false?
It is Hillary.
Yeah, this is false, guys. This
All right.
is false. All right. Jordan's currently leading Randall 3-2. We're going to move on to the next one here.
Jordan's up a point, so he's going to play the old, do the same thing I do and win the game.
Here we go. Next one. Statistics show that teen pregnancy drops off significantly after age 25.
Well, I would hope.
Golly.
No freaking way. Truth.
That is, you're saying truth. Okay.
100% somebody said that.
Jordan, what do you think it is?
Yeah, that's true.
You think it's true?
It is.
Okay.
100%. And if you don't know why, DM us in the in the comments.
Okay. Yeah. So that is correct. It is true. This was posted. This was a headline
my
Monday,
goodness.
December 1999.
Let me guess.
Don't have the
CNN?
specific date other than that.
New York Times.
It does not have the postee of this, so I do not know. But
Okay,
Dang
it's CNN. I can assure you that.
it's a smaller company from Colorado Springs, is what I'm showing here.
Oh,
Colorado
So-
Springs, Colorado.
80995. Or in Canada.
At.
No, right to.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next one. Moving on. Jordan currently with a lead of 4-3. Is this truth? Is this history or Hillary? Red tape holds up new construction.
oh, that is false. That is completely Hillary.
You think that's Hillary?
Yes.
I'm going true.
You think that's true?
History.
The final answer. It is false. Jordan gets the extra point.
It
moves
is
ahead
yellow.
there. Yeah, it's it's supposed to be yellow tape because it's like
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Red is usually for utilities and underground wires.
it's good man.
Usually.
It's good man. He knows his construction.
Usually, yeah, no one ever does that though.
Knows his construction.
But yeah, that's what they're intended
All right. Moving on. Next one. Cold wave linked to temperatures.
for. Well, I'll be darned.
Yeah.
That's didn't know that.
No crap.
You would have had to think pretty
Randall,
hard about
say
that
it's
one.
true.
Why? It's true.
It is true.
Well, you need to make up some ground.
You
either
do realize
way.
you do realize what he's doing,
And
right?
also, until I give the answer, you guys can change your answers. This is not.
Okay, then Randall, to make this fair, say it's false.
it's Hillary.
Okay, then it's true.
Oh, so we go. Okay. All right, Randall, you're right. It is false.
Saw on
All
that.
right, we get back to within one of each other. All right, Jordan's up 5-4.
BK Big Mac.
All right, moving on. Next one. China may be using sea to hide its submarines. Is this history or is this Hillary?
I know the answer to this, but I'll wait to see what Randall does.
No. He gives the
You
answer
go
first
first.
every single time.
Well, I'm going to do the opposite of what you do.
No,
Oh, okay. No, hold him to that. Okay, so you have the final power. You could gain an extra point.
I know,
here.
I know what this one is, but
I'm going
just gonna
true.
do- okay,
think
then
it's
it's
true?
then it's Hillary.
You think it's false. What did you originally think, Jordan?
I think it's true.
Okay, it is true. This is a.
Are we all tied up?
We're all tied.
We're all
up.
tied at 5.
Suspense. I just created that drama you find on TV shows.
Yeah, and as much as I would love to read off the entire story, it's quite a long one, so you can just look that one up yourself and read it. It's a banger. Okay, next headline here. Moving on. Convict appears at theft trial with stolen van. Is this true or is this false?
I'm going true.
You're going true?
True. History.
I'm going to say true as well.
You're saying true. You're both wrong. It is false, but it is a true story that this happened, but the headline was not this at all. But this did happen where someone
Got us
was-
on a
I
technicality.
did get you on a technicality. This was actually I saw this on YouTube. This guy showed up to court, but he was going to be late, so he stole a van to get there. But he was being tried for theft,
That is awesome.
and the cops found the van in the parking lot of the court.
That
and
is actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm like, oh, that's convenient. At least you're already at a place where you're going to get tried.
So, crime on crime on crime.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
All right, we have 2 more here. See if we can get a little drama here.
Still
building
tied up.
Next headline: "Quote: We hate math. Say 4 in 10 Americans / a majority of Americans." So pretty much what it's saying is, "Quote: We hate math. Say 4 in 10 / a majority of Americans."
I'm going true.
You're saying it's true.
True.
Jordan.
That's Hillary.
You're saying it's false.
Yes.
This was a real headline. This was
Yes.
a real headline.
Okay.
Crazy. I read it
dub.
today and I was like shocked at the fact that this could pass any kind of like testing because this stuff goes through testing, surely, right?
Yeah.
You know what I
you
mean?
would think, but the media today is pretty, yeah.
I mean, even this podcast goes through like some kind of trial to, make sure we're chilling before it gets released. So it's crazy that actually got through to the end, but nevertheless, we're going to be moving on. Last one here, Randall currently with a 7-6 lead, I believe it is. Whatever, we're somewhere around there.
Up by 1. That's all that matters.
Yes. Next question or next headline. Shock collar discovery shocks scientist.
What?
So I just picture a scientist wearing a shock collar, and it shocks him that he actually made a shocking discovery.
That's
Getting shocked.
ultimately what would have happened. Yeah.
After
Say
you,
this is
Jordan.
true or false?
So what's the score? You're currently up 1.
Are you just gonna tie or just draw? You're just gonna say the same thing he does.
Yep.
You know what? As host of this game show, Randall, you are the one who has
All
to
right,
say
I'll
it
go first. I'll go first. I'm going true.
You're saying true.
Shoot,
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing as well.
Well,
That's true.
You literally can't win if you.
That's true. It's Hillary.
Okay. It is false.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I kind of just gave you that
Hey,
point, but I was
screw
like,
you.
I was like, how dumb are you that you're just going to accept
You know what?
lose
Screw you.
before?
Screw you, Chris.
Yes, but I was very confident in my answer.
Okay. Well, yeah. Ultimately, no one
Hey,
wins.
you know what?
I kind of wanted to tie because I didn't want either of you to win because I
True.
actually didn't have anything to give you guys.
Oh my goodness.
So I was like, it works out better if you guys tie.
So we tied.
Yeah.
So this is a participation.
I
trophy.
demand a participation trophy.
I'm not giving you nothing, man. No. And I will say,
Go figure.
if we had more time in the show, I would have read off some more of the headlines because they are some banger stories in history.
There's
like
some funny.
it just
crap out
reveals the stupidity of humanity in so many ways. But
Yeah, history hasn't always been like it hasn't always been as dumb as it is now, but it's up there.
there. Pretty close.
I mean, there's a lot of history where people you're just like, what were you thinking, my guy or
Do you
woman?
think some people are just like they just don't care or like they just I don't know.
I
They're like they just woke up one day and like I'm gonna make history for the like in the worst way possible.
it's what we would think of common sense is like unobtainable to them. So it's, but that's you know what that's
Okay.
where grace comes into play.
Never heard
Lots
of her.
of it.
That's where you get like scientists that shock themselves and
Never
make a
heard of
headline
her.
of it.
Heard of Destiny.
I was gonna say, Grace is right up there with Destiny, buddy.
Yeah. Oh well, that wraps it up. Congratulations, guys, for tying. You guys both
Thank you.
are
Appreciate
equally mid.
Yeah. Equally mid.
I mean, you guys tied. So.
that. Hey, but I did have a comeback in there. I was down 2 at one point.
Yeah, you were. Big comeback story. Any final thoughts, guys, while we wrap this show up?
Oh, not really. No.
Jordan?
What if I said not really?
That's fine too. Then I'm gonna ask you.
I do actually
Okay.
have something.
Oh, okay,
Purchase
okay.
some
Go
new
on.
merch on the site.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for reminding me,
Yeah.
guys. Get some new merch. Sorry if you missed it. If you didn't get a little discount code, but at this point, that's your own problem.
We gave out more discount codes than we were
that's
supposed to.
That's your own problem. So still go scoop up some merch.
How-
It's amazing
Yeah.
stuff. It's amazing
How-
stuff.
I was
Randall,
like,
did you get some merch yet for yourself?
No, the daggum, you guys didn't respond to my discount code.
That's tough luck, my friend. That's tough luck.
only so many winners, my friend.
Only
Hey.
so many. Randall, what did you learn in today's show?
I learned that I have still not called 911.
Okay. Wow. You have a few years on me, just a few.
Okay,
And I
I've
have
done it
called him before
accidentally.
you.
I've done the whole iPhone button hold to.
Okay. Also,
I did that once.
To
but
be
that
fair,
don't count.
in the situation we were in, you as equally as I could have whipped out your phone and called 911. It's
Yeah,
just you just
100%.
passed that on to me, and then you called your father, which
I
was
kind of,
very
not gonna lie, I was
important,
kind of standing there waiting to do it. I was like, I could pray or call again, see if they're actually coming.
too. Yeah.
Just like a follow up call.
Yeah.
Hey, just want to see.
Hey, as per my last email,
When is my order going to be ready there?
I wonder when you can come through with that, or
I love that. Jordan, what did you learn today?
so I learned at the gym, they're supposed to not be judgment, or there's not supposed to be judgment within a gym space in Planet Fitness. I learned that everyone is judging.
100%.
If you have large muscles, we judge you harder. If you have small muscles,
It's no matter what, you're getting
Also,
judged.
Chris, next week, me and you are going to play a game.
you and I.
What game are we playing?
Me and Chris are going to play a game next week.
no.
Every time Jordan works in the conversation, he goes to the gym now. Me and you are going to take a shot.
Wait, am
And then Jordan would finish the podcast by himself.
I the new shot game with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift?
Oh,
Do not
Yeah,
bring
do
up
not
Vernon-
say
do not
that
bring
on
any of
this
those
podcast.
names on this show. This is a Christian podcast. Okay?
God.
Goodness gracious. Unbelievable. I was having
I'm
such a good
sick
time
of
until
your
that.
attitude.
Honestly, I am too.
All right, it's time to go.
I'm sick of their attitude.
Wrap this up.
gracious.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are some frustrating humans. That's where the common sense just went out the window.
Whatever. Yeah,
It's
well,
rigged.
it was through you, so congratulations.
No, I'm saying they are the ones that lost all common sense.
It's rigged.
Okay. Someone asked me what I learned today, so we can get out of here.
What did you say, Randall? You learned?
It was rigged.
Okay. What did you learn, Chris?
I learned that the weeks seem to go by much quicker when we get 5-star reviews. So if you guys could just leave a 5-star review, help a brother out, help the podcast out.
Go 5-star review it up, boys.
Leave a 5-star review on your way to scoop up some new merch. It's going to be incredible. And also, we have some exciting podcasts coming up.
I can't
It's
wait
gonna
for
be
our
awesome.
podcast to come up.
It's
They're
going to be
so
awesome.
exciting.
We got some bangers coming up for you guys. It's awesome. If you wouldn't mind, share this with a buddy. Share this with a friend. Hopefully, it makes their day better too. That's the goal.
In fact, if you share the podcast,
we will give you. No, wait,
No,
we got to
no,
stop
no.
giving people stuff.
we need to quit giving stuff away.
Yeah. Also, we do still have probably a giveaway or two in the future. So,
A brand new car.
what kind of show do you think this is?
Just trying to give away stuff.
I'm currently in the market for a vehicle, and trust me, if I can't even get one for
Oh,
myself,
wow.
I'm definitely not going to give one away. That's enough about that. Yeah, leave us a 5-star review, and I think that's it, guys. Are we done with episode 106?
Was it 106, really?
106?
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. Have a good week, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Share this
Or
with a
don't.
friend
We
if you
don't
haven't
care.
already. No, we do care. We care about
I don't.
the well-being of our
I could
listeners.
care less what
well,
people's
I
weeks
do,
do.
so whatever. Thank you for being here with us. Share this with a friend for the 4th time if you haven't
You know
done it
what's hilarious?
already. What's funny?
Is for $99, you can also get cremated in my town. There's a sign.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention the golden ticket to heaven.
$99 it takes you to heaven and gets you cremated. You pick.
So it's $200 for the twofer.
No, it's one. You pick. Like you buy 99
package.
either or.
Oh, okay, so they got one of those 2-for-1 specials.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Gotcha.
package deal. But I'm
Scan
also
the QR
offering.
code.
I'm also offering tickets to heaven for $8.99.
I'm offering them to heaven for $79.99. Oh, wait, did you say
I'm sorry,
$8.99?
$89.99.
Well, mine are $79.99.
There was a period in there.
Mine are $69.99.
Nice.
Can't beat that price. You'd be foolish. You're
All
really-
right.
really bad.
Have a good week, everyone. We'll be back here next week for episode 107. Until then, take care.
We love you.
Goodbye, friends.
See ya.